Juniper, welcome to the SAINTCON hallway.
Yes, hello.
How many years have you come to SAINTCON?
0.
This is your first?
It is.
That's exciting. What got you here?
I'm local and know most of these people, so I've just never bothered to drive out to God's country down here in Utah County.
So, advanced persistent threat of friends?
Yeah.
Constantly saying you need to come?
More like the opportunity arose for having some fun, do a little trolling.
What were you expecting it would be?
Like a regional DEF CON.
I think that's kind of close. So, does it match what you were expecting?
It's a regional DEF CON.
So, yes.
That tends to happen with most of these tight communities. You got one big event, and then it grows and grows, and then suddenly your Burning Man explodes, and nobody wants to go out into the desert and get stuck like that. So you have your nice little local events where you have a sense of community, because when you have under a couple thousand people, you can actually get to talk to everybody. It's not like you're lost in like these thronging crowds of like corpo people pushing back and forth because they got sent to some weird technical event because they think that it's a like normal conference, which admittedly this one is a bit more relax. I mean, like, there's definitely far fewer heavily intoxicated people. What happens in Vegas apparently does stay in Vegas. What happens in Utah County is wholesome and delightful. So.
Wholesome and delightful. Is it the community you're looking for? Did you find, I mean, you obviously had some friends here, yes?
I got my peeps.
So, going good? You're spending some time in hardware hacking?
We straight chilling, yeah. Hardware hacking, I just brought my own toys to solder together because, like, who has time to put together all the kits that you have lying around at home? And then I realized that, that's basically the reason that they give this one out is so that you have something to screw with when you're chilling with the boys.
Did you build any of them? Did you play the game?
Yeah, I don't really play games, but I did put this wire on here so that I could spam A button.
That's cool.
That's been handy because then I don't actually have to interact with it.
Right, so is that part of the game allows you to just kick off your attacks?
Well, what's like allowed? Well, what it is the menu structure lets you just spam it. It's one of those RPGs. You have two options, and the only one you're supposed to use is to just keep hitting attack over and over again. But it's the engineering behind it is very good. I wouldn't expect actual game design to have to be so complex. Plus, it's more about people finding new ways to break it. They patch it continuously. First night I saw people messing with it. Someone dumped the firmware, and you can feed into all the cheat codes, and then you just keep patching from there. But that's kind of fun because it's like a back and forth. You're allowed to hack it. You don't like got that Valve band carrying around with you for the rest of your life like the Scarlet Letter, and you can't play TF2 with your friends. So it's, I think, neat that there's a bit of a like casual adversarial atmosphere to it.
And I saw you doing some magic the other day. You were gliding across the street in some boots that you told me you made yourself.
I did. Those are, well, half made. These are Heelys. That's the shoe with the wheel and the heel, son.
But I've never seen them in boots or anything like that.
Yeah, that is really a big lost marketing opportunity for them, and we've had this discussion repeatedly with their reps. But the patent on those bitches expired. You can bleep that out.
We're going to let it roll.
Pretty quick. Like last year, so I mean, someone theoretically could probably even sell them, but I don't. It's just making it. Heelys.rocks, there's a Discord for people who are modifying and trying to manufacture new Heelys. So hopefully something comes of that. Transportation revolution. E-scooters are gay.
I had no idea. And what was that motivation? You're like, you know what? I like Heelys, but I want these boots. I'm going to make this happen?
Yeah, I've been riding Heelys since they came out, so you have to pick between Heelys and combat boots, and I don't like making that decision.
You got to have both. And was that like a long process? Did you do a lot of iterations? You just nailed it the first time?
It's one of those things where I had a deadline, so I put it off until the last minute and then stayed up really late screwing around with the drill press and a bunch of power tools until we made it work. So
nailed it the first time, and they're functional, and you're...
Nailed is an interesting word. I am very critical of them, but yeah, there's... Future versions will be a little bit more skookum with 3D printing and all of the cool kids tech. But
from my neophyte perspective of what I saw, it looked like it's a production thing, but I understand the self-critiquing.
As long as you make it look good, right? Then the customer has no idea that you really know what's going on.
It's like SAINTCON. You don't need to know all the stuff that the mess is going on in the back rooms and challenges, but as long as it, is good for the average person, and I think it's mostly good.
It is an interesting mix of people here, too. I mean, like, it's a lot of locals, and there's a lot of people involved in security in Utah for some reason. So that's nice, and it's more family oriented. I mean, they're gonna do family night here in a bit. There's a bunch of kids around, and some of those kids are pretty cool. They're throwing down, doing contests, like having fun. I don't know. It's neat to see people second, third generation, involved in this kind of scene, doing stuff. So but shout outs to all the IRC babies and chat babies that are out there growing up soon.
If I guess here's a big question: will you come back next year?
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, I live here, so.
That's good. Do you think you'll participate more, or what do you want to get out of next year? Is there something that should be added, or maybe you want to do?
I like helping the community and finding things that are entertaining. It's nice that at this one I had the opportunity to try to contest a little bit more for just doing ham radio stuff and all that, but mostly I just like to see what people bring and like who else coming out, like what everyone's been working on, which you can do, at the local space, but there's a social nexus type of functionality that happens at these events where you get to see everyone and everything out in prod. So
you're gonna run like a Heelie hacking current mod transportation booth?
There were people at DEF CON who were interested, and I definitely passed out that link. So if anyone wants to join the Discord, go right ahead. I'd like to have more people rolling.
I guess the hard part of that is they'd have to have like shoes that are their size, and they'd have to bring them or something.
Well, I'd say it's something you might want to prepare in advance.
Right, you'd have to, is what I'm getting at. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how else you would. I have some generic shoes from Walmart.
You want a nice thick heel on something, and then you just slice it in. There's a few ways, but join the Discord, Heelies.rocks. There's a handful of people. That's not even my Discord, but it's there. Yeah, I mean, hopefully some good designs will come out of it that are a little bit more open sourcey and less dependent on the weird custom dubious quality products that are produced by the one company that owns it. So
If somebody wanted to come and chat with you, but maybe they're not as extroverted, obviously we can chat about Heelies. That seems to be a thread, or modding shoes. Is there anything else that maybe is not a security question that you are willing to share that they have maybe a common interest in?
you should be chatting on IRC. You don't be chatting in real life? Chat on IRC. Most of the people there can't chat in real life either. IRC's too hard to connect to? Get good. It's easy, and it's the original chat protocol. Discord, it's terrible. You're being monitored, all your information collected, and think about all the kids these days who have their entire chat history. Can you imagine that? Your entire chat history, everything you've ever said since you were like 10 years old, and it's all just there, haunting you. If the logs from when I was 10 years old surface, I'd die. Like, that sounds awful. They're buried somewhere in some horrible hard drive somewhere. But no, instead this one will all be used so that some sort of horrifying algorithmic mind control, and there's a chat bot that talks just like you type of nightmare can be unleashed and will be unleashed. Really Discord is an appropriate name for that horrible platform. But yeah, IRC, it's free like that.
And
you don't need no federation.
And clearly privacy is also something that's worth chatting about?
It's private if you know the person who's running the server. I mean, there's also Element / Matrix, which is a pretty cool platform, except for the fact that even though it's entirely populated by people who are autistic about security and computers, they still can't get it working all of the way. But I guess that's sort of the nature of open source projects like that. It's secure and it's good when it works. The UI story is lacking as usual. And the UI story for IRC is lacking if you're a scrub, which is why Discord has become the thing that's taken over chat, unfortunately, because it kind of works like that. It's the new Skype, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way that goes, and yeah, how quickly they can bang out a chat bot of each one of us.
They already can. When you have enough logs out there, I do know some people on IRC that wanted to troll someone else, so they took all of their chat logs and then they hacked their emails and then they got all of that and they fed it into GPT and then they made a bot that sounds just like them. So there's plenty of great trolling opportunities, and yeah, you can do that with Discord or whatever. But with IRC, you can read the protocol and just go in there and do it yourself, and you won't get banned by Discord Jannies. So
open source sounds like a great thread too. Well, I appreciate you spending some time here in the SAINTCON hallway, and hope to see you here next year.
all right, shout out to FNet, PP for L.